Walk Across America, one man's journey to honor those who serve.
I've already had my fun, you know. I've had 24 years to enjoy myself, so now it's time to get serious about something.
Welcome to This Week in the Pentagon. I'm Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter. Have you ever had the idea to do something and you just couldn't get it out of your mind? Well, many of us leave it there, just in our minds, and never do anything about it. Well, you're about to meet a man that's taking the road less traveled. Actually, the road less traveled and every road in between to make his idea a reality. Growing up in Western New York, life is a little slower.
It's kind of isolated. There's not many people that live out here year-round.
And that's just how Mark Kledzinski likes it. Whether it's fishing, hunting, or camping, the backcountry around his house is his playground.
Out here, I'm out in my element. Like I said, I'm in nature. Everything out here is calm, quiet, cool, and collective, so that's why I enjoy it so much. This here is why I love Rushford Lake. Growing up a half mile from this view is just, it's been a blessing. It's awesome. I spent many times going down in this creek on a raft with some friends.
Like Tom Sawyer, the carefree character from Mark Twain's imagination. Fictitious Tom and real-life Mark have a lot of similarities.
Well, ever since I was a kid, I'd always been, always in trouble, always mischievous, and doing this and that.
He's my only child that I actually thought of doing those wrist harnesses, where you keep your kid connected.
Mark has two brothers. Adam is a year younger.
Me and my younger brother always used to bicker and fight, and we always had our sibling rivalry.
We just didn't mingle, being the only kids in the house.
Eric is 6 years older.
He taught us how to run fast and how to get out of like arm bars and stuff. He was my role model growing up, and when I was 12 years old, he entered the Army for the infantry, and it was really sad for me to see him leave.
A few years later, Adam left for the Army too. Eric's now out and is a contractor at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Adam, a specialist, is a mortarman stationed at Fort Drum with the 10th Mountain Division. He just recently returned from his second tour in Afghanistan. Mark, the adventurous one, never left the area. He was living what he calls the ski bum lifestyle, working in nearby Ellicottville as an instructor at the slopes and at a bar just outside of town. While his brothers were figuring life out, he couldn't make up his mind.
There's always been a big dream out there for me. I thought it was, living in Ellicottville. I think, if I opened a restaurant delivery business, it could be good, and I could be a business owner. Then I started thinking, that's not really what I'd like to do with my life. I don't want a 9-to-5 type job. I'd like to give back and help the best way I can.
He's had a lot of juggling between ideas, since after high school. There's no real interest for him except for outdoorsy. He likes to walk. He likes recreational sports, especially outdoor sports, and he loves to read. He told me at one point he was reading 13 books at one time.
But it was one book that would change the course of his life.
I picked it off my parents' bookshelf. It's been sitting there for 15 years, and I'd always picked it up and go, wow, Walk Across America, that's pretty cool. And then I'd put it back down and go watch cartoons or something until, this last November. I was bored. I picked up the book. I read it. It took me like 2 days. It's 355 pages. It was, it blew my mind, the adventures this guy had.
Not really going anywhere by staying in Ellicottville, he decided to walk across the United States.
Yeah, okay, Mark. Did I believe it? Good idea. Have you thought it through? He's a fly-by-night individual. So when he talked about the walk, he talked about it months ago, but I never took it seriously.
He was serious, and he had a purpose, to honor his two brothers and all who serve.
So I figure a walk across America here would put me into the soldier's shoes over there.
He's suffering just like we do. Any infantry guy or cavalry guy does during deployment. I guess that's his way of joining the Army, It's a good thing. He's actually doing a pretty noble thing.
Every time they zip up that uniform, they're putting their lives on the line. So I'm going to put myself in an uncomfortable situation and go ahead and conquer the U.S. here.
4,500 miles from New York to Washington, D.C., to Florida, along the Gulf Coast, through Texas, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, Oregon, and ending up in Eureka, California. He's not just walking to honor his brothers. He's walking to raise money to help a Western New York charity, the Warriors Wish Foundation. They grant wishes to service members who are terminally ill or wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan. He wants to raise at least $2 million through pledges and donations.
It's going to mean the world to the foundation. Right now, we are relatively a smaller foundation, not as known. We'd like to expand, be able to have, every wish that does come through, have the ability to immediately accomplish it.
I've been walking the past 3 months, every day or two, just getting ready for this adventure.
He's been walking, swimming, working out, and camping through the winter to prepare for the walk. He says he's ready. He doesn't anticipate many problems.
I think the initial shock for my entire walk is going to be within the first 2 weeks before I reach Washington. Once I get to D.C., I figure it should come, everything should fall into place, and I should continue that walk with confidence.
He was nice.
He was funny.
Very nice guy.
His mom, on the other hand,
Thank goodness I have calm innards. I'm a very stable thinking individual. You can't dwell on all the worries that a mother normally does, and you have to trust in them. It's scary.
Janet has learned to deal with her sons leaving for dangerous parts of the world. After 4 deployments, she's gotten used to it, but she still does worry like any mother would.
I think what'll bother me the most is if I don't hear from him for a period of time. How do you know? Where is he? That's the biggest concern is.
All right, Mom, I'm out of here.
Communication and that he stays okay and healthy.
I will. I'll update you on everything.
On a sunny but chilly Tuesday morning, he left Ellicottville from the bar he worked at for the past year.
I'll see you in a couple months. Wish me luck.
Headed to California the long way. He's walking for his brothers and others who serve, but he's also walking for himself.
I've already had my fun, I've had 24 years to enjoy myself, so now it's time to get serious about something. I've had my share of exciting times, and it's time to strap on my adult pants and get to work.
A few corporate sponsors are helping Mark with his gear, and thanks to modern technology, he's updating his Facebook page along the way. On Facebook, just search Patriot Walk Across America. At the time of this taping, he was about 150 miles into his walk, headed out of Bellefonte, PA, which is near State College.